Hold on to your tusks. Uncensored Radio gets slashing with Australian horror director Chris Sun to sink our teeth into his films Charlie's Farm, Boar, The Possessed, as well as his upcoming horror projects. From the cutting room floor to cutting up corpses, Chris takes us in all the gory details of creating horror and what it is like to work with some of Australia's biggest talents. Hide your babies from the dingoes. This one's going to be a scream.
Hello, Uncensored Radio fans and fans of things that are a little bit creepy and weird. That kind of describes my co-host today. I don't know who wants to be creepy and I don't know who wants to be weird.
Well,
you guys can decide.
Creepy,
right.
So Katrina's the weird one. Thanks.
Katrina's unique.
Right.
So that's right. Miss Katrina A. Johnson is with us, as is Luke, and we are having a special guest return, actually. Luke and I managed to talk to this person before, and very, very fitting because this man is a one-stop horror shop, the one-stop horror shop of Australian cinema, I'm going to call him. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to Uncensored Radio, Chris Sun. Hi, Chris. Welcome back.
Hey, guys. How's it going? Nice to be back. I had more hair last time I was here, so that's the fucking film industry for you.
I was about to say, welcome. The industry is taxing on many things.
It has its moments, as I'm sure Cat knows as well. You know, the industry can be up and down all the time, mate. You know, it's fucking good, it's bad, it's good, it's bad.
Absolutely. That's why I buy my hair.
She's got magic hair. It's all good. It's just one day she's long, one day she's short. It's okay. I think the girls get off with that though. Like that, you can't really just be a guy and one day suddenly have hair.
Yeah, you can. You got advanced hair. Yeah.
But without people going, that's a piece. It's like, yeah, okay, cool.
I don't know. I've got a pretty impressive makeup team. I think that they could do my hair and shit. And I don't think people. Fuck, now it's just me on the screen. And I don't think that they would. I don't think people would. Well, actually, those that know them fucking Boar will work it out. But otherwise, this is weird looking at myself now. Fucking hell, that's a bit.
You don't like
it. I forgot he doesn't like the close-ups. We forgot about that.
No, man, I'm behind the camera, bro. Like I'm
exactly.
Fucking you know?
Exactly. We're fucking with your shit today, just messing with you, you know.
Yeah, well.
Last time we were here, we got a good chat about your whole back catalogue and the process up to this is how long ago it was. The Possessed wasn't even out yet. The trailer had just come out when we last talked. So it has been a lot. So for those of you that haven't seen The Possessed, we're going to briefly talk about it because, you know, it was your latest. We can't talk about other stuff, but, you know, it's the latest so far. Yeah, as I said, we were waiting for it to come out last time we talked to you, and it's been out. And how was it received? Were you happy with the reception, etc., etc.?
Look, very, very happy. We ended up getting great distribution around the world. Scream Factory, or Shout Factory as they're known, but Scream Factory is what the horror people know them as in the US, which are, a fantastic, distributor of the genre out that way. It did extremely well in the US. It did great in Australia as well, but, I think that different countries, different release times, like, if you get the right time, you get that, that exposure. It's just like any films, but The Possessed is a fun film, well received around the world. Look, no matter what I make, you're going to go online to some motherfucker that's the worst thing they've ever seen, and oh my fucking God, But overall, the horror fans just love it. I think because they knew going into it that it was going to be a Chris Sun practical effects film again. It wasn't going to be, there is the digital aspect to the film, but they knew they were going to get that, those demons, the practical demons and monsters. And I think that was still excites true horror fans today if we can see more practical gags.
I was just going to say, very much the first demon that appears, I'm like, oh shit, this is like Buffy the Vampire Slayer stuff. Like, he's really there. This isn't just transposed onto the film. He's like,
I'm going to let John Jarratt know that you think he's a demon, mate. No, it definitely was, good. Like when we wrote it, and Rob and I were designing the demons, that we were thinking digital, right? Because we're like, well, shit, maybe we have to do these digital for a budget, given the budget. But the whole time in the back of my mind, I'm going, no, fuck that. I want practical. And, of course, I went to Steve Boyle, my go-to guy for anything practical. And we showed him these designs, and he's like, oh, what are you doing to me, bro? Because he knew that I was coming in with a smaller budget, wanting, big budget. Again, Kat, we go into these things with $1 million, wanting $10 million, So I'm like, right, guys, this is what we're going to do. But we pulled it off, and each one of them was different. And like even just the other day, somebody hits me up on the inbox, and you get random motherfuckers out there, and this guy wrote to me, and he's like, "Oh, I really love the demon of lust," and I'm like, "Dude, you're a sick motherfucker, eh?" Like,
was it the one that looked like the demon from Evil Dead 2 with like the big old tits and the
yeah, except that's a little bit better looking. But it's like I thought that he was confused, and he was talking about the actress Alana, who's a beautiful actress, lovely human being, and I thought he was talking about the scene, or no, he was like fucking
the demon.
I'm like, dude, you're fucked up in the head. I'll block that guy and keep going. You get some random, things. What's even cooler, though, is when people out of the blue somewhere in the world will tag me with a tattoo of one of my monsters or something, and that's pretty cool. Being a little indie filmmaker, and that the fans out there love, what you do that much, they'll go and ink it on themselves. It's kind of cool.
That's awesome. That's like you don't realize, you're so busy making these projects and doing your day to day. You don't realize how far reach goes. Like, until someone points it out to you. Like, fuck, right? Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool. Now I'm gonna piggyback off Luke because he mentioned John. Now everyone knows John. Everyone knows John Jarratt. Like, and he is now. I was going to say an Aussie horror icon, but he's a horror icon.
Yeah. Because I
think he's an Aussie icon. I think he's just
Aussie icon, and then he became we grew up with him on Better Homes and Gardens and Play School, and then all of a sudden he's fucking Mick Taylor, like gutting people and fucking doing horrible things.
Just a question for the audience out there. I want someone to Google and find an episode where John Jarratt's actually on Play School.
Oh, he was.
John Jarratt wears a T-shirt that says, "I was not on fucking Play School," right?
Okay.
So it's the Mandela effect. Like, dude,
it is.
He was on Play School, but he actually never was. Yeah. Only John knows that. Yeah, his ex-wife was, but was John. So everybody thinks he was on Play School, but anyway, we'll leave that to your fans, guys. Get out there, find a link, get it in the comment, whatever you guys do, and show us so we can go back to John and go, look, motherfucker, here you are on Play School.
That's blown my mind a little bit because I swear I remember him on Play School. That's fucked up.
Everybody in Australia says John Jarratt from Better Homes and Gardens and Play School, and John's like, I wasn't on fucking Play School.
Wow. Okay. Maybe because there was another guy named John on Play School at the same time Noni was on Play School. But anyway, that wasn't the how was it to work with John? Mick Taylor looms so large when you look at him. Yeah. And he's a very different character in this movie. Do you think that's was part of the appeal for him? And how was it creating that character with him?
I love working with JJ. We worked on Boar together. We did this film together, and he's got another role coming up in Dark Moon next year. John is absolutely fun to work with, but you've got to. When I look at John, I don't see Mick Taylor. I don't see other roles that he's done, and John doesn't want to be seen as that either. John wants to be seen as an actor. Right, yeah, this is me. I played that role, and of course, he's known as Mick, but he also wants to be known as the other characters that he's played as we go along. So for me, John doesn't come on set and go and do all the Mick Taylor shit. He comes on, and we're in character now, for the next role or whatever. But the one thing I love about John, or the old school actors is they're extremely pro. They turn up, they come prepared, they turn up, they're ready to go. Don't get me wrong, we all fuck up on set. It's part of the game, right? But he's switched on, he's there, he's in character, and then once he's done, he goes home and he's getting ready for the next day. I remember, we'll save it for later, but there's a magical moment with John Jarratt that I'll never forget. Actually, we'll do it now. Since you're asking about John, we'll talk about it now. Yeah. There was a moment on set where we had to shoot the final scene of the film where he goes outside to push this demon back into the ground, and then Ackerman, the big one with the wings, comes out and walks towards him. But before all of that happens, like the Ackerman stuff, you've got John like just letting it all go. And again, Kat, you can appreciate this. Sometimes actors, actresses, they'll go on set and they'll give a performance that's fucking great, but the director just wants that little bit more, and we'll just push and we'll push, and not as in a bad way, like, yeah, come on, let's do it again. So now John's like nearly 80 years old. He's not, he's not young anymore, So someone like Lukey, I could make him do 10 takes and he's probably good with that. But John's like, fuck, bro, I got it. I'm like, no, I want something else. So we were shooting this stuff, and where John goes down on the ground and he's like, ah, and he's sending it all into the ground. And I went over to him and I said, John, fucking awesome, but let's do another one. And he's like, all right, because he's got to come out, he's got to do it again. So there goes Rob, by the way, guys. That wasn't a ghost, that was Rob. So then he comes back and he does it again. And then it's like, no, and this was draining him. Like, again, when actresses or actors have to deliver emotion, that's a lot off their body. And then to ask him to do it again and again and again, that takes its toll. So anyway, about three or four into it, John had done a couple. It was a good old Days of Thunder where Tom Cruise is sitting there and he says, we'll do 100 laps your way and we'll do 100 laps my way, right? And we'll see whose works out the best in the end, because I knew how I wanted this to be. So I remember we get to the sixth go, and I'm like, walk on set, and everybody knew. They're like, oh, fuck, he's going to ask him to do it again. And I went with John, and he was nailing it every time, though, guys. There was nothing wrong with his performance. It's just something that I saw. And I remember it, and I said to him, and John actually got, fuck, all right. And he walks away, and I thought, this is it. He's going to do it. It's going to be, because it's in him now. He's like, right? He's going to come out. And my God, right? He fucking nailed it. And then right after it, he hugs me really tight. And we were virtually close to getting emotional. And John said, you were right. You were fucking right, And it was a great moment as a director to know that somebody that you look up to, that you think is amazing human being, holds it. Didn't let the crew know. He whispered in my fucking ear. So this is my word against his, right? But he said, you were right, and it really made me feel like, this special moment, I think. And again, Kat, you've had these moments with directors where it's that moment where you're just like, that's awesome. We did that. We did that together. And that's what I love about filmmaking, is when you can have this wonderful talent. Sorry, I don't like to use the word talent for actors or actresses. This wonderful actor come on set and fucking just believe in you as well, because I believe in them. That's why I cast them. So that's a moment that I'll cherish forever with John, that we had that moment on set where, yes, I got my way, John. If you're watching this, I won. But we made magic, and I'll never forget that moment. My whole career so far, it's one of my favorite moments.
Chris, you look after your actors, though, too, because you have – I can tell you've got a good relationship with them because they keep coming back. Like, can you answer me this? Did you grow up watching East Street when you were young?
Nah.
No, I was going to say, is that, look, how did you come across Melissa Couts? Like, how did that start?
So Melly's another cool story. So we, my manager, Shane, my PR manager, he represents a lot of different people, from Spice Girls to whatever, different people, right? So anyways, I was going to do the premiere for Charlie's Farm down in Sydney, and Shane rang me up and he said, look, I know you're looking at doing this Boar. I want to introduce you to Melissa, Couts. I want you to cast her or talk to her about being in one of your films. And I'm like, yeah, fuck, whatever, bro. So anyway, we ring up and we did a video, and straight the penny dropped. I'm like, I know who the fuck you are, right? I was like, oh my God. And
I can read your lips. I know who you are.
You don't want to know how many times I played that song to give a shit. So, Kat, she was also a bit of a pop star. She's has had a few songs out and stuff like that in Australia. And if you want to give Melly shit, you just play one of her songs to bring back memories. So we had our first meeting was like this, like a video chat, and we just got on so well. She's such a fucking bogan, right? Like she really is. And she's my people, right? So I just straight away just went, hey, Melly, we're going to do something. And, of course, when I went back over the script for Boar, I thought she's perfect for that role as as John's daughter in Boar. She just sounds dinky-die Aussie, and that was it. Simone Buchanan, funny story, I actually messaged her on Facebook, right, because I thought I remember Simone from Hey Dad, but she did the movie Patrick. And I messaged her, and I think she thought I was some sort of fucking idiot because I'm like, do you want to be in my movie? And she's like, pretty much, who's this fucking idiot? And then we ended up on the phone.
Kind of movie.
Yeah, that's right. Which kind of movie was that one? But yeah, she wrote back and was like, I don't know, who are you? And I guess also she went on IMDb and went, okay, he's not full of shit. Okay, he does make movies, but. Straight away, again, we hit it off. So like you said, I love all my crew, even my stunt guy for Boar. Here's something for you. When they did the scene where the car, I know it's meant to be talking possessed, but when the car comes down and hits the pig, right, I remember saying to Judd, because it was only a little drop-off, I was so worried about his safety. And these are the stunt team, and they're like, Chris, it's okay, man. We want to go bigger. We want to give you a bit. I'm like, bro, let's do here. And I was so worried. And I remember him saying to me later on, he said most directors, although they care about their stunt people, obviously, but they're like, they want it big, they want it dangerous, they want whatever they can get. He said, you took the time to be really worried about me and my team, and it's important to me. It's like I want to know that everybody on my set is fucking safe, happy, having a great time, and I think that's why they keep coming back, because we don't. And I will, push for that perfection. It's not just about being buddies on set. We will go to the end, to get the shot, which makes, again, as Kat knows, the final edit is done in the editing suite, and that's where an actor or an actress can either look great or fucking not great. Everything comes down to cutting it all together. So that's the other thing that we really focus on, is making sure that we make you guys look superb on screen in the end.
Because I was actually going to mention Simone and Melissa myself, because their performances in this movie were surprised. I've seen all the other stuff. I've seen them. I grew up with them on TV, but their possession scenes, I was like, fucking it, this is next level. How was it to get that out of those actors that are so
okay? Melly, first of all, she wasn't possessed. She's just a crazy bitch. Melly, it's true. I'm gonna tag you when this comes out, Melly, and you're gonna fucking do. I had to do the Real Housewives of Sydney with Melly, right? I actually had to be on this reality show.
I saw you.
My episode, guys, was one of the most popular episodes ever, because I'm on there going, fuck this and fuck that, and it was just me doing me. But yeah,
she was amazing on that show. She was amazing.
She was great. Yeah, Kat, I get around for some reason. I don't know what it is, but people like me to fuck shit up sometimes. But no, look, working with both of those, working with both those wonderful people on set and getting them to do something that they hadn't done before. I knew Simone was going to know. There's something special about Simone Buchanan. There really is. She's and same with Melly, same with all of the people that we hire, that act in the films. But excuse me, I just knew that Simone was just going to blow everybody away with that opening scene. There's just Simone will go right to the fucking brink of fucking breaking down to get it done, and she's I adore her so much. She's just fucking brilliant. She should have went on to do big things, but not all Aussies get that opportunity. And don't worry, I'm bringing her back in Dark Moon, just because I just can't get enough of her. I'll let you know some of the Aussies that I'm bringing back later on, but I've already told you fucking true, right? I'm no good at keeping secrets.
I know, we weren't supposed to talk about it, but whatever.
So there's John, there's Simone. So you're bringing Melissa back as well?
No.
No.
Oh. You're wrong. You're wrong.
Oh.
Actually, I am just a little bit. She's coming back to play a copper. It's only for a day, but she'll be there. Yes, I am bringing Melly back. But, look, I think that also, too, I remember Melly when she was strapped down on that table, and I just said to her, I said, I just want you just to let this fucking go. Like, just fucking let it out. And she did such a good job. I mean, they're completely different, people. I mean, you can have two different actresses that both deliver something completely different, which makes it all unique and special. So, but the funny thing is in that room where Melly's scene was, we had Eben Graham, who's the African-American guy that's strapped down, and Melissa played his wife, and she slaps him. It's so fucking fun. But
I was about to mention Mel Bell. Yep.
I fucking love her too. I just love them all. They're so fucking good. But I remember Eben, this was like his first, because he did an episode on an American TV show, I think like NCIS or one of them New York shows, right? I don't think it was anything huge, but he had a role. And so we gave him this role because when he did he's one of those like acrobat dudes that can contort and do all this sort of shit. So I thought, this guy's going to be good, right? He can just fuck his body up. I remember when we got on set, we strapped him down, the camera's getting set up, everything's about to happen. And I'm like, action. And off they go. And he's like fucking doing all this shit, right? And all of a sudden, now this chair, we've only got one, right? We had to, things we had to make it. There's only one. And this guy was so fucking into being possessed, he's like breaking the chair, right? And we're like, cut, stop. And John Jarrett's like, you don't have to be so fucking serious, mate. This is my birthday on set, and John's like, bro, calm the fuck down. It was brilliant. It was like, I walked in so excited because I'm like, yeah, fucking do that again. But John's like, no, he's going to realize he's broke the fucking chair. So, don't do that again. Let's just slow down, right? But I mean, again, it was, I think when you do these kind of films, because this wasn't like an Exorcist or, where it's meant to be really scary. None of my films are designed to be scary. Although people say they're scary, I don't think they're scary, but they're more of that, comedy horror in moments. Like every one of them has that comedy element to them. So it's not designed to be a jump scare or anything, but I wanted, when, because Mark Gardner, who the story is based on, is this real-life exorcist or he does clearings, I watched him perform these things, and it was kind of like, was uneventful, like all this shit happens to him, but the person laying on the table is just like a starfish. It's like, nothing's really fucking happening. That came out wrong, didn't it? Let's delete that. Yeah, they're just laying there, right? And everything's happening. Well, actually, it sounds quite normal, right? So, so I thought when you get used to me, Kat, I'm in a whole different fucking league. I thought when we wrote this, yeah, I'm glad. I thought that we have to add in like the demons coming out and create that and also make them react, because normally they're not reacting. Everything is happening to Jacob or the exorcist. It's all happening to him, which is what happens with Mark in real life. So that's why I had to add that element of CG. And I think there is moments where it does get kind of scary, I guess, for people that aren't, that get scared easily. I think Romy Poulier, who plays the final crazy bitch, the final demon. I remember. So, funny story for her as well. We were talking to her agent, and we were looking at different actresses or whatever. And he said there was for the Demon of Lust role, and he said, "Look, I've got this actress. She was." On reality TV, but she also did, it wasn't the 100, it was something else, Terra Nova, I think it was, something like that. And he wasn't putting it forward for a big role. And I thought, dude, fucking lift your game, like push these people, right? I was not impressed by him as an agent at all. So I looked at her and I went, oh my God, she could be the final chick. Right. So I said that to him and he actually went, oh, I think she'd be, he was like playing her towards a smaller role. I'm
like downgrading a talent.
Hey, and again, Kat, some agents can either make or break you sometimes. They can fucking either get you the good jobs or they can fuck it up. They can fuck it up so quick. So
right now I'm moonlighting as Katrina's agent. So do you hire American actresses?
Well, that depends. We'll see. All right. So actually, we're casting US. We're in the middle of casting US actresses and actors right now, and I can tell you what, agents, fucking pain in the bum. But anyway, so I'm looking at, but they do have a job to do. But this guy in particular, I feel just wasn't doing her justice, right? So I ended up again having a Zoom call with her, and I'm like, yep, I've made up my mind. You know, she was beautiful. She's done stuff before. She looked like a housewife. She could be the one, right? So I gave her that main role, and he was like, oh, okay. And I'm thinking, fucking no thanks to you, dude. She, like, what the fuck? So anyway, I remember we get on set. Yeah, that's right. We got on set, and I remember Romy said to me, she said, we started getting into it, because the first scenes we shot were the end of the film, right? So that whole ending that you see in that room, that's the very first week of shooting, right? Nothing's ever chronologically. So I remember we're about halfway through it, and Romy, she had to put in different contacts all the time, because digitally, I mean, you can change eye colors pretty easy these days, but it still costs $1,500 each time. It's, you know, sometimes more. It's not a cheap thing to do. So contact lenses sometimes can just be easier. So I remember about halfway through, Romy said to me, how did you know? How did you know that I'd be able to do this, that I pull it off? I said, I could just tell. Sometimes you can just tell with somebody, the way you speak to them, the way they communicate, that they're going to fucking give you everything they've got. They want it that bad that they're going to leave it all on the set floor, all on the football field. And Romy, to me, was somebody, although, again, everybody did a fantastic job, but the shit that I put that woman through, being chained up and screaming all the time and doing all this stuff and having to, you know, be where the stunt was and levitate and all this shit every single day, like for 5 days, she went through that. She's my fucking hero, man. Like, I look at her and I'm like, holy shit. Like, again, she's another Aussie actress that deserves to be in big Hollywood, in making movies, you know, but she's now just had a baby and she's, you know, getting married, I guess, you know. So your career is over, Romy. No, maybe she'll have a possessed baby. Let's not say that. But I remember, actually, I've seen the baby. It's definitely not possessed. It's beautiful. I remember, though, again, there's so many proud moments from the possessed, just watching people shine and, you know, sort of doing their thing. And I think that's why companies like Scream Factory in America, just because it's the first film I ever had that had a bidding war between distributors, which was fantastic. And I think that, you know, to see, you know, their face, you know, go across America like that, you know, through someone like Scream Factory is a very proud moment, you know, for indie horror, you know, for the genre. So, yeah, very proud of Romy as well. Yeah,
we're talking about letting people shine. One of the big surprises of this movie was Angie Kemp.
Kent?
I was like, yeah. Sorry, I said Kent, did I? Yeah, whoop, my bad. Because people are so used to seeing her on Gogglebox, you know, and they're like, you know, she's an everyday person, but she can fucking act. I was like,
she can act.
She was gold. She was funny. She was scary. Like, I was holding her own against like, you know, John Jarrett.
Angie, like, again, first time ever acting, which was exciting. Really studied her lines, like, took direction extremely well. And if I said, like, you know, well, you know, the ADs would point out to her, these are your marks, this is where you got to be. She never fucking forgot. Like, everybody else would be running around. Even John, actually, I think John's, you know, fucking getting a bit of dementia. He's like, which movie am I?
I was going to say.
Oh, John. That's right. I should get him on the phone right now. We should just give him shit, right? But I remember, like, they're all moving around, and Angie would just be, she was just so good, man. Like, and people like John, though, like, again, he would take these guys under his wing. He would take care of them. And although he wasn't babysitting, we've got to remember, we're all there to do a job. Like, they're hired to do a job. But John knew enough to know, okay, green, you know, good, whatever. And he would just be able to work really well with those people. And again, that shows experience. You know, that shows somebody that knows what they're doing. But Angie came across quite experienced. And I feel for her because she got all her head molded, all that kind of shit to get all the prosthetics done. And she got to play the demon against the in the hallway. That was actually Angie with prosthetics on. But she was also meant to be the demon in the kitchen. So when Legion, I think it was Legion, Legion looks at her and then she changes and grabs Jade and slams him through the cupboards. That was a stunt woman. That was meant to be Angie. But because of timing, and again, Kat, you understand, when you start running out of time, you're like, fuck, what do we do? So instead of trying to get Angie into makeup, which is going to take 2 to 3 hours to do it all, we just had to bring this stunt person in for that. So I felt for her because I would have loved for her to have experienced that as well. Again, getting the prosthetics back on. And that's one cool thing about doing a Chris Sun film, without me sounding stupid saying that, is if you die, you're going to get molded. We're going to have severed heads, like my lounge room. There's all the actors' different severed heads around, and there's a corpse in my coffee table over there. Like, it's just random, shit, but you get to experience everything. It's not just coming on and acting. Like, if you're playing in these big roles, you know that eventually, well, not in The Possessed, but eventually Chris is going to fucking kill me. It's going to happen, So that's kind of fun, and I guess something to look forward to as well.
It does, it does make, I feel, the actors want to work with you. You've got this kind of like camaraderie that you don't necessarily see. Like, you can feel it on the screen a bit more. When you're cast with people who are just about themselves, it makes the job harder. So when they're doing that stuff that, they're actually helping and supporting each other, it makes it really interesting and they bond well together. So the end of the movie is quite open-ended. I'm not going to spoil the movie because I know that there are still people that haven't seen this movie, and we're hoping that they'll see this movie for it. So
lift your game, people. Come on now.
Yeah,
come on.
Like for every horror movie that ends open ended. Do you think there's more story there one day?
Well, I have this problem where I leave all of the movies open ended. It's kind of like it's kind of like my thing, like Charlie's Farm. Charlie walks away with Tara. Yeah. Boar, the big pig walks out again at the end of Boar. But actually, that was Universal. They're like, because the original script had it written like that. And then because of funding and whatever, we weren't going to do it, have the pig come out at the end. But then Rob, again, bloody good old Rob, I said to him, like, because we did all the digital tests before we went out to the CG team. So we built that digital pig at the end to walk out. And then, of course, The Possessed, they drive off, as if they're going to go do more clearings. Sure. I mean, they're all left to open up for another one. I know the fans, it's not, I don't like using that word, but I know that the supporters, whatever, the people out there, they really want to see Boar 2. That's kind of, that's been a big one, I think. Like, when I come from a little country town here, Katrina, up on the Sunshine Coast. It's a small town, Nambour. We had a sugar mill. My grandfather drove the cane trains. So it was amazing when you see your film on taxi cabs in New York, driving around on the top of cabs and all sorts of shit, like this little fucking Aussie director guy. So I think Boar is probably one of the fan favorites around the world. People want to see another Boar movie. I know Universal want to see me do another Boar movie. Will I do another Boar movie? Yeah, I mean, I want to. I do want to, but I don't know, like Dark Moon right now, I've created something, and we'll talk about it a little bit. I can't tell you about what the monster is or anything. Right now, the world believes I'm making a werewolf movie, and I'm cool with that. I might actually be making a werewolf movie. I just don't want people to know yes or no. But when I started making movies, my dream was to create my own Pumpkinhead style creature. That was my dream, right? That's what I wanted to do, like create this monster like Pumpkinhead. And this is now, it's funny because I keep looking over at some of the artwork. This is now my opportunity to create that. And do I see what I've created is a Chris Sun universe. So we're going to give you an exclusive that this, I haven't told anybody this yet. I won't go too deep, but what I've created, I swear I just heard Rob yell out something. Don't do it. I'll give you a very small. I've created, like you hear like the Snyder universe or whatever, right? So I've created this universe where, like Boar, hold I don't have Charlie's Farm there. So, okay, in Charlie's Farm, you got to go back in time now, right? So you go back to Charlie's Farm. So in Charlie's Farm, John Jarrett's character says to young Charlie, Charlie, take the scraps out to the pigs, right? So Charlie's meant to grab the dead body parts, and then he goes, you don't see that, but he's meant to go for a walk. Now, in Boar, the original script of Boar, right, so the very first one, you see a flashback of young Charlie walking through the bush, feeding human remains. This big, giant pig comes out of the fog and just takes these remains and goes. So I was sort of tying those universes together. And then what I thought was, which it didn't happen in Boar, I thought, you know what, I won't do it yet. Then with Dark Moon, I've created this universe now. So there is a universe that people will be able to put 2 and 2 together and go, oh, fuck. You know, will we end up seeing fucking Charlie riding a boar chasing a fucking, who knows, right? But we have created something, and we've definitely written in to Dark Moon, purposely written in special Easter eggs, if you will, that will literally, and people have really got to watch it to notice these motherfuckers, but if they do, it'll pull it all together in a really cool way. So I'm excited for that.
Now, can I ask you, is Lincoln Lewis coming back? Because I might be just a little bit of a fan of Linky.
Look, Lincoln, he rings me every few months to, see how I'm going. It's like, is he ringing to see how am I going? Is he ringing to see if he's got a job yet? It's like, how you going? And you're like, yeah, good. You wait for the question. Is the question coming? No, look, Link, I will work with Link over and over and over again. I don't think so for Dark Moon, being honest. I don't think so. Look, there's always the potential. I want to work with Link again. Somebody who I really want to work with again, who I just adore, love him to death, is Bill Moseley. I would love to bring Bill back out. Unfortunately, there's nothing for him in Dark Moon, but you never know, because I did start doing Boar 2, which Bill obviously is dead, so we can't bring him back in Boar 2. But I'd like to work with Bill again. And Lincoln, you never know. If something does pop up for Dark Moon, of course I'd give him a role, because I guess I'm like a mini version of Tarantino in that I use the same actors where I can. But in saying that, Dark Moon, I want it to be a lot of new people. I want to cast new people, work with new people, because I want to expand who I am as well. But, I do have a day where I'm bringing back some Aussie actors from other films. And I'll come back for some of them are 2 days on set, some are only 1 day. But everybody will go, oh, fuck, all right. So there's John and there's, such and such that'll come back. But so I don't know about Link, but if I can find something for him, of course I would. I love him to death. Although I think Katrina might want to take his role, so I don't know. We could have a bit of an arm wrestle or something.
But he is a cutie.
Yeah, he goes all right, don't you, Link? You go all right.
Just in general, because we are horror fans here. We have our offshoot Uncensored Horror, and I've always, if there's one movie I've always wanted to be in and do, it's a horror movie, because yes, it's there's all that drama, but it's got to be at least. I know it's high stress because you're behind the camera and making it happen, but it's fun to do, right? You wouldn't do it if it wasn't enjoyable. Like, putting people in these situations, you're like, yep, more blood for you. Man, you get murdered. It's all good.
The amount of times I've been like either in Bunnings, which is like a Walmart, well, not Walmart, but like a big store here, Katrina. The amount of times I've been in Bunnings or just out in the street, I'll be on my phone and I'm like fucking talking about blood and like how I'm going to kill this person. You can imagine people walking past, right? I've actually had people like stop and turn, like, what the fuck is he on? Because you're just so into it. Like, I love it so much. Like, but the thing is, I don't love scary. I love blood and guts. I love the gore. I love to grab a silicon head and chop someone's head off. And I want to shoot that. I want to see that blood coming. I want to see all that cool shit, right? So for me, it's all about, doing the practical effects and the gags. But when you get on set And again, you've just got a great crew, a great cast, and everybody's just fucking happy. But look, by the third week, we're not happy anymore. We're fucking stressed, right? We're like, oh, this motherfucker. But day one, we're all good, all right? Everybody's happy in the first week. We're just feeling each other out. But there's something about, and again, I know I keep saying it, but Katrina, you'll know, there's something about when you go on set and then they turn the lights on and everything starts to light up, then they, the camera starts coming out and everything starts to happen. And you might have your stand-ins doing, the blocking for a minute just for camera, but then the actors walk on. I'm feeling it right now, like goosebumps. Like there's this moment where you just feel it. This is it. It'd be like a prize fighter walking to the ring, like there's the ropes. You got to get through the crowd and you climb in there. I get really passionate about it because like when we walk on that set, there's just this, the whole world behind us, Cat's gone, isn't it? It's gone. We're here now.
Yep.
It's like it's us, it's our family, it's, there's Cat ready to go, everybody's ready to go, and you just know. And there's something even cooler though, guys, when you go onto a set like mine or anybody that does, these practical effects films, and you've got, say, Cat there and she's covered in blood, but then down there is her corpse, a silicon body that's about to get ripped apart by something like that. There's something really fucking exciting about that, right? Where you're looking at Cat, you're like, damn, you look good Cat, but fuck, I'm going to rip you apart in a second. Like, here it is, right? Like it's I don't know. Like when you turn the lights on and then when you get into post and you color grade this and you put sound design to it and some music or whatever is needed, that moment that we had on set where poor Cat was looking beautiful and now she's torn apart, it comes alive now. It's like you add everything to it, and it just she's like, I don't want to work with this motherfucker, he's fucking crazy. But it's like,
I mean, I kind of do.
it's like it, and I'm sure every director feels the same. Like I think that especially us indie directors and producers, because we really have to work hard to get these movies made and get them off the ground and get people to invest. So when you walk on that set, you just it's fucking amazing, and I love it. Like I do. Like, don't get me wrong, when you finish shooting for the day, say we shoot that scene, I'm watching the day before that night, right? So they've done the rushes, they've cut me a rough scene together, and so we finish the day. Then I go home and I've got to watch the dailies, then I've got to watch the rough cut from yesterday, and if there's anything we need to get picked. So if you've just done a 12-hour day that's gone over by fucking 2 hours, you're already fucking tired anyway. Cat's still got fucking 6 hours to wash blood off herself to get ready to come back and shoot before that. But you're home and you're watching it all. You're only getting a few hours sleep. So by the third week, you do start to get temperamental. You do start to think, fucking, whatever. So, yeah, but it is a good experience, guys, yeah.
How is the process here in Australia? Because we know we're looking back now, our film industry's grown so much, and I'm so happy that it has. What is this process like, though, just to get stuff off the ground here? To a lot of people, it seems like it's just that impossible dream. Like, how do you even begin?
Look, for a lot of people, it is, unfortunately, the impossible dream. And I don't want to say that. I want everybody out there that wants to make a movie to go and fucking do it. And you can, right? You can do it. The reason why it becomes impossible is because you're not with the right people. Sometimes you got to find your people, and those people will help you make that dream come true. If you're, look, I grew up, my mum worked in a jam factory. My dad was a truck driver. We were just your typical Aussie, weren't even middle class. We weren't rich people at all. So when you dream big, normally the family's like, you just get a job, you'll be fine, I've always been different. I've always thought outside the box. It's like, fuck that, I want to do this. And my family, they're very supportive anyway, because they're like, well, fuck it, we can't stop him. He's gonna do what he's going to do anyway. So I think that it doesn't matter what country you're in, whether it be here, Bollywood, Hollywood, it doesn't matter. The game is hard no matter where you are. I think what it comes down to is find your people, the people that are going to get behind it and support it. The hardest challenge that you'll find, guys, with making a film is getting the fucking money. right? That's the hard slog. And I do have a seminar coming up in a couple of months that people can come and watch if they want. I'm doing my first ever seminar from start to finish, how to make a fucking movie in Australia.
Wow.
But and we're going to bring in everybody from distributors to starting with script writers, the whole lot, to teach people how to do it from start to finish. The one thing nobody can teach you and nobody can ever promise you, and guys, don't ever get sucked into paying money to listen to somebody tell you how to raise money. That's all bullshit. There is no guarantee in this industry that you'll ever be able to get the money to make your film, right? So the one thing that I can tell people is that if you believe in your script, if you're passionate, if you believe in everything, that's what an investor wants. The investor wants to invest in you, all right? If you can sell yourself, they will invest in that. And then it's up to you to have the right team to make that happen. I guess I'm kind of lucky where I can go to, people with $1 million and go, yeah, we're going to rip the fucking head off and do this and do that. They go, oh, yeah, let's go and make this movie, Whereas other people don't get that opportunity. So, I think that it is very, very hard to do. Don't quit. Find your people. And I was at a thing the other day and somebody was talking about script, budget. And she was a writer. And I said, why are we talking about a budget? Like, you write it as if you've got the money to shoot everything.
Right.
We talk about budget later, right? Get everything down first and then get a producer that can make it happen from there. So it is hard, but guys, the listeners out there, you can fucking do it. If I can do it, my first movie, I literally wrote in Microsoft Word. I had no fucking idea what I was doing. And I still made a movie, all right? So no film school, no nothing, fucking straight out there and did it. And shit, you can shoot them on an iPhone these days.
It's important for people to know that too, because I think they see stuff like we'll use Talk to Me as the most recent, massive Australian movie that's managed to not only capture our industry but capture everyone worldwide. There's going to be millions of dollars thrown at it now because there's going to be a sequel and But for every one of those, there's people, like yourself and people that are still trying to get their foot in the door in an industry that is so dominated by foreign films that, there is a voice here. You see that in your movies, that it's a uniquely Australian voice in the horror sphere that is legitimate as anyone else's. So
there's so many great Aussie movies coming out right now. Talk to Me, phenomenal. Like, there's so many, awesome Australian directors finally getting their shit made and getting stuff seen. There's even that new kangaroo one, Red or whatever it is, the zombie kangaroo.
Kangaroo, yeah.
Have me a fucking zombie kangaroo, bro, right? Like, come on. So, and you know what? Since Sharknado, those kind of movies are now a thing. Like Sci-Fi, all these channels buy these shows because it's a thing. Like, people, and I'm not saying this about that kangaroo movie, but people love fucking stupid. I love stupid horror. I love it. I'll go watch it. Frankenfish, all those movies. That's my jam, right? So when you say zombie kangaroo, I'm there. Take my fucking money, right? So, and the thing is that you don't need millions of dollars to make these movies. You really, really don't. So I think that for Australia, we're really starting to get our stride now. It's starting to happen. Like, there's so many fucking talented producers and directors and actors, etc., coming through now, making these movies. It's like, shit, I got to lift my game, and keep going as well, because it's happening now. So, and what's cool is America, which is probably the biggest territory to sell to, I guess, would be North America. They fucking love Aussie films. They love them. They enjoy them. I think they just love that. I think they're all waiting for a scene where we're actually cooking a shrimp on a fucking Barbie. But
we've been waiting forever.
You will be waiting forever because it ain't fucking happening. But Australian, content or films, are well received over there. And I think that on the other side of the coin, though, sometimes I think they kind of take the piss out of us a little bit, thinking that we just make these random exploitation kind of movies, which we kind of do. But then you get something like Talk to Me, which is just pure class. Like, it's a James Wan. Like, that's something you expect from James Wan, right? Who's like a fucking god in the horror industry. And these guys, in my opinion, they're up there with James Wan now. Like, that's how I see them. Like, to see two Aussie guys just come out and fucking do that, you're like, bravo. Like, that's what this is about. Me, I'm not that kind of filmmaker, right? I want to make fucking big giant monsters out of fucking latex and fucking that's what I want to do, and I have an audience for that. But I look at these, so I'm like the kangaroo movie, whereas I look at these guys and I'm like, holy shit, guys, like you should be so fucking proud, not of your movie, but what you've done for the Australian film industry. And also look at, is it Sting? The director from Sting, another great Aussie movie that's just smashing it around the world right now. Fucking smashing it. So Aussies are they're fucking killing it, man. So yeah, I got to lift my game. I got to get this fucking movie made real quick.
Yeah, but there is, as you said, there's room for everyone. There's room for every type of movie that, every genre, every offshoot that, you can imagine, because why should it be just an American voice or a British voice? It can be an Australian voice. It can be anything you want it to be if you've got the passion behind it. Yeah. And you've definitely got the passion for it. So I do have a question, though. Yep. So, you exist in the monster world and all that kind of stuff. If someone came to you with an offer, because reboots and requels and all that kind of shit is where they're at these days. It's the latest craze. Everyone wants to make a sequel to a movie that's, already successful. Yep. If you had a choice and they went, here, make a movie, what would you do? That's already existing, someone else's property.
I already spoke to my agent or my manager back in the day. I wanted to try and get the rights to do it. I'm not a big fan of remakes. I don't believe in them. So it wouldn't be a remake, but it would be close to it, which is a 1980s movie, Trick or Treat, with the record playing backwards with Sam Kerr, the rock and roll. It's fucking one of my favorite movies ever.
Yeah, I do know that.
Ozzy Osbourne, was it? Gene Simmons was in it.
Yeah.
Ozzy Osbourne, I think, might have made an appearance. But because today, with all these jump scare movies and stuff like that, nobody's touching on the record going backwards yet. We're all, and fucking now that I've just told them, every motherfucker's going to do it. But the thing is that back when I was a young fella, these were scary movies. These were great movies. They were very entertaining. And anybody that had a record player, tried to play the record backwards just to see if it would speak to them. Now, my mum and dad, and I'm not saying that I was a fan of the Smurfs, but when we were younger, we obviously had a record player, and they had the Smurfs album, right? But on the other side of the Smurfs album, there was a song about Pinocchio, right? So you put it on, and it's like Pinocchio. I'm not going to fucking sing it, but it was there, right? So anyway, I watched this movie, Trick or Treat, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to play this backwards and see if something happens. And I played Pinocchio backwards, and I swear it fucking spoke to me like in a devilish voice. So it would be cool to make you should try it. Anyone's got a record player, find the Pinocchio song, play that motherfucker backwards, record it. We need to know. But I think that a movie like that, if they said here, because I don't need a lot of money, I like being indie. I like George Romero was one of my favorite filmmakers ever, and I look at him as the king of independent, really. The zombie god, the king of independent.
God of the Living Dead is still on the top for me. It's
mate, absolutely. And so you don't need a lot of money, but I would love to get a movie like Trick or Treat and do my own spin on it. And if it was a remake, which I wouldn't want to do, because it's like remaking The Crow. Like, why the fuck? No. I'll never watch that. No. And Alex Proyas is also somebody I look up to. Great Australian director. I wouldn't want to do that, but I just think that there's something cool about the records going backwards and fucking ghosts. And I think the practical effects that we could do for that, like the kills. I mean, fuck. Oh, that's so good. we could really fuck shit up, man. We really could. Just putting it out there.
Coming up for you, obviously, we've been talking about it. We're not supposed to talk about it, but there's something coming. So we will be very interested to see what is actually coming. But
yeah, we're looking at shooting early next year. It's about 6 months to build all the practical effects, give or take. Right now, we're out to US casting, US agents right now, just to map out the lead and the two lead characters, there's 3 characters in the script that are written to be American. I'm not big on, and I mean this with nothing but love and respect to Australian actors, but I don't like to cast an Aussie and have them speak American. I'd rather just cast an American that can speak American.
Katrina should get her resume and sizzle reel in real quick.
Really fast.
Yeah. Send it on out. We'll send it on over.
I'll be on Insta in 3 minutes. Yeah, look, it's we're in that process right now. We have started the Australian casting, but in saying that, though, there is brilliant Australian actors that can speak American. It's not what I'm saying. It's the script and the sales. Unfortunately, when you look at a project now, like Come and Get Me, like my first film, we sold that, but it wasn't like a big money earner because there's no named actors in there. There's nobody in there that you can go to a distributor and they go, oh my God, you've got such and such, we'll give you $1 million, right? So you've got to attach the names to help sell the project. That's kind of how it works. Before Aussie fans get on and go, oh, the fuck aren't they Australian? There's a lot of Aussies guys in the movie. It's an Australian story, but we are casting 2 Americans to bring out for that Australian story. So so that's where we're at right now. What's exciting for me is the actors that we've spoke to. They're the biggest actors I've ever met, for my career so far. So it's very exciting. It doesn't mean we cast them, but it's very exciting. Where we're at right now. But you still got to close it. And that's the producing side of it, which is I enjoy doing, but it's not as fun as being on set. It's all the post, so the pre stuff, not post, pre, is where it can be a little bit hard. I think she must have thought she's not going to get the role and left.
Yeah.
I think she's actually got to catch a plane. She didn't tell me.
That's not a plane. She's fucking out of here. But yeah, so it's a bit of a process right now, but we're definitely excited. We've done the creature designs. We're nearly finished with the locations, all of that kind of stuff, whilst we're doing the cast. So once we've cast the Americans, then we'll come back, finish off all the Aussies, get everybody done, and then, we'll hopefully in February we'll start shooting. Could be a month after, it just depends, because you need that 6 months, and we can't start building the effects until we cast, because you got people that die that we need to mold and stuff. So we're waiting on the Americans right now.
She just went and got her sizzle reel ready, didn't you, Bub?
Yeah, I'm back. I'm ready.
I was going to say, I was about to offer, and then she just left. I was like, well, fuck it. Okay. See you later. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's the goal, guys. Say 3rd of February, first day of principal, potentially another month or so after, just because we have to build everything. And we are. Some of the producers want to share the monster with the world. Some of the I don't. So we're kind of stuck right now. Well, see, it's hard, bro, because you don't want to share it, but sometimes when you get such a big media explosion around something, investors, everybody feel even more comfortable. They're like, "Yep, we're in," because look at the exposure this film is getting now. Yeah. So I'm kind of fucking a little worm on a big hook, whereas I want to keep it under wraps. But in saying that, we'll see. It's certainly not something that's going to happen anytime soon.
You understand their argument, though. So you're like,
of course you do.
Yeah,
of course you do.
Yeah,
you need to do like something marketing wise. Like we've just reviewed Long Legs on the
horror, left again
on the horror offshoot, and the marketing behind Long Legs. Showing Nicolas Cage, but not showing Nicolas Cage, and like doing that. Like that's made that movie as popular as it is, because people want to see what this fucking thing is at the end of the day.
Exactly right.
So look, you hit it right, don't you?
Yeah, there's definitely a few things that that we could possibly do, down the track for that. So we'll see. Yeah. But me right now, I'd like to keep him under wraps, or keep them under wraps for as long as I can. But if it is a werewolf movie, it's be the best werewolf you've ever fucking seen. I can tell you right now. And one thing I do love is Dog Soldiers. I love Big Lichens, and
I love that film too.
Me. Just fucking love it so much.
Oh, the twist at the end, mate. Oh.
I might fucking watch it tonight. Now I'm getting excited. But I mean, like Steve Boar that does our effects, he's a huge werewolf fan. Werewolf makeup is something that he's just absolutely fucking brilliant at. So, for the fans out there, if it is a werewolf movie, you're going to be impressed because we're giving it everything we've got. I want people to walk out of the cinema and I don't want them to say, I want them to leave the theaters talking about how brutal the kills were. It's really important because this is a creature feature. I want them to talk about how brutal the kills were, but I really want them to be talking about this monster and how fucking awesome it was, and being an indie film, that's a big dream for me, to have people leave there. I mean, people loved Boar, but it's a giant pig, people love Charlie. They do love Charlie. They want to see more of Charlie, but this creature is like on a whole fucking another level. Like Charlie would actually get in the fetal position and run the fuck away from this fucker, so I'm pretty excited for people to see it.
I'm awesome. Excited too, man. And let's just say hypothetically, if Katrina were in this movie, how fucked up would she get?
Well, look, I've killed people in many, many different ways, as you know. I've ripped off jaws, I've chopped off peckers and shoved them down throats. I've squashed heads under tractors. I've fucking people have been carried away by John. I think I've done like 30 or 40 different kills. If we were to kill Katrina, I think we would have to. Look, there's actually a kill in the film that's so fucking fucked up that you take a pretty girl and you just fucking she would just be like, people would be like, yeah, that's how you fucking kill her, right? But I don't know. It's because I'm thinking of the script and I obviously don't want to talk about the script.
You can't give it away.
But if we're outside of that,
some of those kills sort of become like iconic, like that kill in one of the Friday the 13th where he slams the girl against the tree in a sleeping bag.
Sleeping bag, yeah.
It's just its own thing now. Like, fucking everyone knows that even if they've never watched a Jason movie.
Well, everyone wants to create a legacy. That's what it's like. This character could be your Freddy, your Michael Myers, your whatever. Like we want something that lasts. That's a legacy that that's fucking terrifying.
Exactly. I remember when we were doing Charlie's Farm, and as indie filmmakers, you do get cocky. You think your shit don't stink sometimes when you're starting out and you're sort of growing. And I remember I wanted Charlie to be like the Aussie slasher monster, like Freddy, or not like Mick Taylor's Mick Taylor. People get confused. Mick Taylor's not a slasher movie, right? No. Slasher is like Leatherface, Jason, etc. Michael Myers, right? So Charlie was like that. And I still believe that if I do more Charlies, he would eventually become like that because that's what happened with Victor Crowley. They did Hatchet and then more and more and more. And now Victor Crowley is that, or Terrifier, the clown. They all become that if you make enough of them. Right.
Yep.
So for me, it's like I really think that the creature, my wolf, if it's a wolf, yeah. I'm going to keep planting that seed. Don't worry about it. So I do think that people, if we, and again, it's left open because that's what I do. But I think it's in such a way that I would gladly jump off of one and jump straight on another one, A Dark Moon. Because it's the best script I've ever written. And I'll say that honestly because I got coverage done. I've had so many people work on this script with me, from people from Universal, etc., that were with Universal, helped develop the fucking script. Like this isn't, Kirsty, my editor, did all her shit. Like I'm very proud of this script. It's a really, really good monster film. It's a really good one. So I can really see how I can take this fucking further easily. And same with Boar. So here's something for the fans out there for Boar 2. This is my idea for Boar 2, which I did start writing. So I'll put it out there. This is something that's never been heard before. This is what's going to happen in Boar 2. Simone Buchanan's going to come back. She's going to come back out to Kandanga, but she's going to bring Bruce's, so Bill Moseley's kids from the US. They're going to come out to Australia, and they're going to go on the search to find his body because they want to find their father to bury him. Right, so they team up with Ernie Dingo, or per se bring Ernie back, but they team up with the local sheriff or copper to go out and try and find the remains, which have never been found, but they're going to go and try and find Bruce's remains. Along the way, we have there's a guy now that runs tours, like, come out and we'll show you where the pig ate people, and all that sort of shit. So you get these tourists, come out, could be Katrina, right? So Katrina's one of them tourists, in the car. So they go out and they go on a tour. So I actually have the story. I've just got to finish the script. And it's a really cool, so it ties it in beautifully together, where they go back out to find Bruce's remains. I guess the question is, do I want to kill Simone? I just don't know yet.
You've always got to have a final girl, right?
Wait, Melissa survived in Boar as well, didn't she?
Yeah, Mel, Simone, and Christy Lee, and of course Nathan and Griffin. They all survived. But it'd be cool to fuck them up. And obviously too, because the pub burnt down. Melly would die. If I rang Simone right now and said, "Do you want to die on Board too?" Fucking on there, she'd be already on the plane before I hung up the phone, right? So that would be the same. So I think because the pub burnt down, there's a lot of sad memories associated with Boar as well. I think that's why I haven't been ready to do another one yet. And I think that once the time comes and I do it, I'll be able to do. There's people that passed away that were involved in that film. Even one of the locals that was in the pub passed away. That's in the pub scene. Had some dialogue in there, just a local guy. So the pub burnt down. There's so much that happened. So people wonder why I never did it. That's why. There's this emotional aspect for me that's still lingering, but I'm nearly ready to visit it again one day, soon, and go, let's write it. And then take it to Universal, and if Universal are happy, let's make it. But we'll see. We will see.
So the future is bright and full of blood for you.
I hope so. I mean, the other thing I wanted to do, obviously, is I wanted to do Dark Moon, and I was going to take a break for a while, and because I wanted to write another book. Now that I've learned so much from writing Dark Moon, because I wrote Ed all that time back when 15, 16. So I'd like to write another book, and I've been driving each day trying to come up with, an idea for a new book that I want to do. So I'm actually thinking about doing Dark Moon and just taking no film for a year or so, just nothing. I have myself prepared to do another one, but not yet. Let Dark Moon release, let it run its course. While it's doing that, not focus on another picture for 12 months and just get away and write another book. And, I don't know, I've got a really cool idea that's going around in my mind right now that I'd like to have a crack at, and sort of do that. So, but yes, there's still plenty of blood, whether it be on pages or whether it be on screen. So hopefully.
That's the important part. We do have apologies from Katrina. She can't get back. Her internet has officially died. The call is not coming from inside the house at all for her.
Yep,
she's
all right.
Fucked, basically. So she apologizes, but thank you so much for your time today, Chris. And as always, it's been amazing having a chat with you and getting to know about the other side of an industry that people are just so used to popping to the cinemas or whacking a DVD and going to the factory and seeing how your meat's made is always interesting. It's always interesting.
I love DVDs, by the way.
I know, right?
But you're right. I mean, most people, I think that, for the fans out there that are watching your show, the next time you watch a movie and it was a shit movie, just think to yourself for a minute, there's so much that went on to make that shit movie. Just because you think it's shit doesn't mean it's shit. So just be careful going out there and going online and, bringing people down, because I met someone not too long ago that was an indie filmmaker here in Australia. They made one little film, and they got so just abused online. It was just shit, and it was sad. It was really fucking sad, and they gave up. They're like, that's it. That was someone's dream that someone had their crush because they're having a bad fucking day. So it's not it's not the end of your life when you watch a movie for an hour and a half and you didn't like it. So just if you're going to watch a movie, just enjoy it for what it is. Go into that. Let go for an hour and a half. And when it's done, if it was shit, just say that was shit and get on with life. You don't have to jump online and be a cunt. All right? You don't have to. So get on with life, have fun, and let's just all run amok, because I love what I do. And the one thing that I remember Kevin Smith said it, and I'll never forget it. And same with Quentin Tarantino, actually. They make movies that they enjoy. They just hope that other people enjoy them too. Okay? So I love what I do. I make movies that I enjoy, and I'll continue to do that. And I get to talk to awesome lads like you guys, and Katrina just floats in and out, in and out, in and out. So, fucking whatever. But at the end of the day, it's, just be kind, people. Like, I think that as I get older, I'm starting to get soft. But just be kind, and remember there's a lot that goes on, behind the scenes that you don't get to see. And it's like there's a podcast like this where you can hear it and know what happens behind the scenes. And although there's a lot of fun, there's a lot of sad days on set. There's people break down. There's things don't go to plan. People pass away. It can get really fucking hard, and you don't see that. You just see, the DVD and think that's it. So just be kind. That's all I can say to people from now on. And if you're going to make a movie, just go and make it. Fuck them. You can do it. You can do it.
There you go. Wise words from the man himself. So if you haven't checked out The Possessed yet, Chris would love you to go check out The Possessed.
Actually, I've got a link now too, guys, that I'll send through to you guys. You might be able to put it in your post, it's my Vimeo page where I've got all my movies up there now because the sales agents haven't been paying me from 2 of my films. So we're like, fuck yous, we're going to put it out ourselves. So any fans out there, this movie comes directly to us. Nobody's taking the money off us. So if I'll give you guys the link if you want. You don't have to if you want to share it with the poster.
Absolutely.
We definitely will.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them are geo blocked. Like I don't think you can watch. You can't watch Boar in Australia, but you can watch, which I just uploaded, the Boar director's cut, which has never been seen in Australia.
Oh, there you go.
Get out of it.
I literally uploaded it like 2. I haven't even promoted it. I haven't even fucking posted it yet. So it's live right now. An extra 12 or 14 minutes of footage. This isn't it, by the way. This is the original Boar. But an extra 12 or 14 minutes of footage. And you cannot buy it, as Luke would say, DVDs suck. You cannot buy it on DVD. You can only watch the director's cut on Chris's Vimeo at Slaughter Effects.
There we go.
I'm going there. So send me that link, mate, so I can sort that out for myself too.
Yeah.
So about Chris Vimeo to make sure that the money goes back to the creators, back to the artists to make more. A Dark Moon will be rising by the sounds of it at some point in the future, but there's plenty of blood to come from Mr.
I like that little werewolf stab there. That was nice, mate. Dark Moon will be rising. See, people are on it.
Quick
posters, and trailers, mate. It's all about it. We will see you again very soon. Hopefully.
I appreciate you guys. You have a good one, eh?
Yeah,
you
no
too,
worries.
Chris. Thank you, mate.
Chris.
Thank you so much.
Bye.